that you all came to join in the conversation. So let's talk or listen to me talk because I feel like I have worthy content. I feel like my mind is worthy of my thoughts, maybe. No, my words is worthy of being shared. What about y'all? Do y'all think that I am worthy? Because let's discuss worthiness. So, because it's real popular amongst the spiritual realm, just say that they put confiskees on people when not knowing what a confiscee is. Someone say, well, is it a confiscate means you're confused, but how do you put it on? So when you hear that someone put a confiscate on someone or someone is doing a confiscate, you have to say, well, what is the process? What, how does one put a somebody? And that's something to ask. I feel like that is a worthy question for a lot of people because what I notice is when certain individuals are on live, people like to go in and say, she's watching me. Now, I know that this is all about fooling the masses where they are at. And or something that is attached to him or that they are actually talking. That's a good thing. So now I understand that when everyone that is a celebrity goes live, that this is the practice that all of y'all do. Y'all like start saying in your mind that you are that person now because I've introduced ONJs to the masses. Now they want to say that they are ONJs and, they were once attached to a celebrity. This is what happens when there's a phase out. Now, when I said, just look at the trees there, you look at the trees in the background of that live video. And I'll tell you right now that that background is not a background from California. I can tell by the trees. So if someone is saying to you, for instance, that I am JT the Bigger Figure, who is currently on live right now, um, I'm JT, come watch my channel, and they say they're in California or they're in Fillmore. That is not a California Fillmore background. I know because I'm from California. We don't produce trees like that. So I need to that it is so many that want to be angels, oversouls, mercies, spiritual clergy. They just want to be something that they are not. So what I'm saying is for those that hear it, you need to go in there. For instance, someone is saying that so and so is supposed to be his twin flame. Do you know how many people say that they are the twin flames of celebrities? So let's normalize going into these chats when they're on, whether or not if they're with their family or wife, because you feel like, or these individuals feel like they could do confiskees and spells and click their heels together 3 times and bury drawers in the backyard, the front yard, or somewhere like that. So let's do that. Let's start asking questions. I could be mistaken. Now, if you go in his live right now, because he's real popular with these ones that have a kind of key on them, uh, you know, he's real popular because of his spiritual position. They like to say that they are him. So go in the live and say, who is your twin flame? Because at some point you were his wife's spouse. You used to be with his wife. All this whole other type of stuff. Now you're going to say that is your uncle, and this one is going to say I'm just a wrench holder, and what it is these individuals go in and they see who is commenting and they start. This is something that been happening before I came into the picture, but I'm just making it make sense for those of y'all that was in that live and decided to come over here and see what I was talking about. Y'all know that y'all hearing stuff when y'all go into his live, but you're not saying anything when y'all are in there. And I want to know why. Why are y'all not saying I'm JT the bigger figure when you're in his live? You are, you want to seem philosophical just in case. For those that are puzzled as to what's going on, when I came to go live, I heard things. And when I seen JT the bigger figure on live, it made sense. Now, it's a group of y'all that when y'all hear his name, you hear someone else's name. And when these things that you summoned come over and start saying, we told you that that is not your twin flame, that that is my daughter's twin flame, that is my son's spiritual spouse, that they are wed. And y'all hear this stuff. And some of y'all fell prey to, this confusion that is on them because you start believing, for instance, someone believes that they could be Satan. All they have to do is say that they're Satan, and somebody's running around saying that they're Akasha because they know that that is Satan's wife's name. So they're saying that they are her. These ones are so bold to say that they are spouses, significant others. Now that they're getting smarter due to me, they're saying that they used to be with them in the past life. These are entities. You all have to understand that there's a group that feels like they could go to a plane of existence, and in this plane of existence they can access a realm in your mind, so they can start talking to you in your sleep and programming you to say things. Now when they go to the wrong individual, because they do it often, when they go to the wrong individual and they start programming the wrong story on you or your family member, and you're talking to them and the shit don't make, excuse me, and it don't make sense, then you'll understand that this is the programming that happens while you are asleep. Because we all know that you can only have one twin flame if you have a twin flame. It's only one. So 6 billion males can't be JT the bigger figure. So y'all need to cut it out. It happens with all the celebrities that go live because everyone wants to see who has connected abilities and who has psychic gifts and who are elect ones. We all know that watch my content. It is important because there's individuals somewhere else in South Carolina, North Carolina, saying that they are him, and now they're going to say, well, he's in Memphis. Did he say he was in Memphis? Because this is how the confusion starts. Because others hear things and they want to know who is who and who is where and who is with who. Now, when they came to me and I told you that such and such is blah, I said, well, I know who my twin flame is. So what's the problem? There's a confiscate going. And when you communicate with them, you become a part of it. So when you're doing a reading and something says, for instance, say that JT the bigger figure or Job or Melchizedek is the spiritual spouse of Sassafras, and y'all say it, it's a region where everyone believes that they are reincarnates of elect ones because this is what gets programmed into their mind. For those of you that are saying, well, they are programming individuals to say that they don't like a family member. Yes, that's what they do. We don't want to confuse it with 6 or 7 years ago when I said you have to separate yourself. These ones believe that they can program you to think that you are someone that you're not. And it causes a whole bunch of upheavals. Did y'all see the news where the guy pulled into someone's driveway and got capped? The lady said, well, he said that my husband was a bully. And in situations like that, y'all, where you say, well, this just happened to you, it's because people get talked to in their mind. Now, the key points of what I heard was the registration. Remember I was saying, back that thing up? Why everybody backing that thing up? When you back your thing up, that means them tags is faulty most of the times. Now, if someone is talking, right? If someone is talking and someone say, well, sassafras is pulling up right now. This is the one that's been tormenting you in your sleep. He go outside. I'm just saying, for instance, this is a scenario. He go outside, and what happens? Somebody get capped. Do he know if that's actually the person that is talking to him in his sleep? But if you're being programmed all through the night, you barely getting any sleep, you feeling like that is the person, because there's no coincidence that this individual would just pop up in front of my house, and and things is talking to me, telling me he outside right now. And then somewhere else, someone say, that's my vice. Because this is how it go down. Y'all got to understand that things talk to individuals in their sleep. They talk to individuals periodically throughout the day. And when you enter into a situation where someone is an ONJ or SBJ, it gets sticky. There's a sticky situation happening here. It's important because y'all have to understand that is what's happening. When you start seeing this stuff and you say, well, why is this taking place all of a sudden? It's because a lot of individuals ascended. And when they ascended, it put everything back in its rightful place. So that meant those that are not supposed to be in certain places are not going to be there. When they are told to relocate, when they're told to leave someone and they don't do it, situations happen that people say are miraculous. Let's talk about it. I did say that someone said that Job was the spiritual spouse of Osakin. And when he came to her, he came as an Osi, an overseer. So y'all do understand that when y'all take on that position and start saying, I am Azrael, reincarnated, when you know you are a whole female, and Azrael is a woman. The ones that are reincarnated like that are not angels. They never have been, they never were candidates to be angels. If you get switched, if your gender gets switched in order for you to go into a different body, that means you are not an angel, for one. There's several variables to that, because angels are created the way created, and androgyny is one, and that has nothing to do with body parts. And this is a part of the confusion. Y'all don't understand that there are different type of beings every place. You don't understand that not everybody's physical makeup is the same. When I said that there's more than two genders, everybody was like, it's not. It's even everybody know in school that is only male and female. But what about hermaphrodites then? Because we know that hermaphrodites exist. That means they have both. They have both privacy down, which you all mistakenly call androgynous. And this is the reason why it's so much distorted information coming out, and people are saying that there are things that they are not. Someone left because it's sticky. There's a group of individuals that specifically want to meet hermaphrodites for the experience. So now that y'all are aware that there's more than two genders again, y'all can stop saying that Ether don't know what she's talking about, because Ether is recollecting your mind, putting you up on GAME. Now, for those that are traveling, those that are waiting for the cue for me to start moving, so you can say, I'm going where Ether was, I'm going where Ether is at, I'm going where JT the Bigger Figure is at, I'm going where Sassafras is, because this is what they do. And then when you run into an upheaval, a tower, a major one, you'll say, that person didn't deserve it, da, 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 but you spiritually awking, put a stalk in front of it, somebody. And when it comes their time for them, because they got put somewhere where it'll happen, y'all will see it on the news, because that's how it always goes down. And it don't make sense. I'm going to say right now, especially with O&J, is there's a look. With the ones that always are confused as to what is happening in their body, they always have a blank stare. I'm not talking about the ones that are comfortable with it. I'm talking about the ones that don't realize what's happening. The ones that don't speak out and say, listen, I'm hearing voices. Things are telling me to do things. Now, when a being starts inhabiting that body that is down for the get down, to fulfill a plan, not a prophecy, then y'all will start saying, why they flip out like that? Because they start doing things that nobody expects ever would do. I done ran where a person will be cool and then all of a sudden they flip out. They start doing stuff that you say that sassafras, that don't even sound like something sassafras would be involved in, because it wasn't that being that did it. It was something else. There's different types. There's one. Okay, let's put this out here. If you are multiverse, multidimensional, that means at one point you existed somewhere else. And when you were there, it's a possibility that that is where you became an O&J or a SBJ or NSVJ, an empath. It does not necessarily apply in every place that you were incarnated, reincarnated, reborn, or rebirthed, or whatever. But because you're an ascended being, this is what happens. You go there physically in your mind. You go to that realm in your mind. Whether or not, if you focus on doing it, sometimes it happens when you just travel. So that means I'm driving down the street, blah, 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 right? And I hit a time warp. And that time warp makes me go to a certain place, a certain realm in my mind. Now I'm there. I'm living that experience that I lived when I was incarnated, reincarnated, reborn, rebirthed, someplace else. Now, where I'm at currently. Do y'all understand? Do y'all get that? It's a whole bunch of people that want to know, because now it makes sense to them. And when I said that there's others. Y'all don't realize that a lot of you are old souls. When you look at a baby, usually the elders would say, well, that baby got old eyes. That baby got my grandmama eyes. That baby got my grandpa eyes. That baby sound like, move like. And you'll say, you'll attribute it to being an ancestor. This is a reincarnate of sassafras. For some generations and eras, that is exact, because they came back in your child. But not all. So now that we are aware, and some are in agreement, okay, that we ascended. The ones that did not want to ascend, the ones that uh, know they ascended, but they're not really accepting it all the way because they don't have proof. Y'all are the ones that run into situations like when I say, "Why is this car backing that thing up on the side of me?" And then all of a sudden the car back up because you need physical proof that you are somewhere else. When I said go outside in the morning and look up in the sky and see if you see that planet. You know, because you grew up in the era that I grew up in where it was only the sun out in the morning and the moon and some stars. So that's the physical proof for those that need proof. And the big G, which is God, knows that they need proof. Because these are individuals that's not easily swayed by spiritual content. And that's no big deal for me because listen, let me tell you something. It's going to be a whole lot that have to happen in front of my eyes that'll make me say I'm not going around somebody I love. But when the big G say it, when God say it, that's it. That's it, because I done been through enough to know that he only gonna say it once. He might send an angel or two after that, you know, to say, look, they really need you right now. I done already told them, I done opened up the door for you, for the angels to come through. Y'all, let me tell you something. They don't have access to me, and they don't have access to my members. If they happen to hear something while they're traveling, my members or whatever, it is because there's an assignment there. If you start opening up the door to people that you know is a part of the crew that don't like you, then you opened up the door for it, like vampires. You know what I'm saying? You opened up the door for vampire, you welcome them in, they got to be welcome in. They're going to suck up all your energy. That is a true fable right there. So when y'all moving and this and that, and then all of a sudden that ear gets switched on, the mind gets switched on, and you start hearing stuff. You start hearing bits and pieces of conversations. You saying, why is this? Is this one of my family members? When you're an angel, you hear others' stuff. A lot of times. Some of you are not angels, you're something else. And I told you that for this new paradigm shift is an addition to angels. That means you're going to have gifts, something similar to angels, but not quite, because you're not assignment. That means when you hear action, a spiritual action, and it ain't got nothing to do with no candles or no spells. This is the assignment. This is how we clear the pathway for peace. This is how it was introduced to me. You want peace? You want a neighborly community where people care about each other. You want to have your children go outside and play and not have to worry about somebody driving 50 miles an hour down a 25-mile-an-hour zone, because in their mind ain't nobody there, so it don't matter. That is the reason why they added speed bumps, by the way. Because what we know about children, right, is children just dart out in the street, no matter if they have a mental disorder or not. So when you late for work and for those of you that feel like you're law abiding and you don't, you just speed from time to time, and then you run into a situation where you done ran someone over because you late. This is what the big G, the obstacles that the big G will put in front of those that feel like they don't do nothing to get caught up. But they done did a whole lot of in the past. So they feel like they not gonna pay no karmic debt. They don't have to, because they livelihood is intact for right now. But let me tell you something. My team, we move with a purpose. We are the definition of purposeful living. Because what I know for a fact is these ones, they become acquainted with these things and start talking, feeling like they can train someone to do all kind of stuff. Y'all remember when I told y'all that these fools was running around here saying that I was doing stuff way in Asia? I don't even have no passport. It's a mixture of people saying, I see eyes, or whatever name they entered in that they knew me as. Now, it's a group of y'all that y'all know when y'all go to work, y'all say, I'm such and such. When you go into the store, you say, I'm not such and such. These is co-workers of individuals that have angels in their family. Now that it has been announced, you already know what's going to happen today. Be trying to figure out why originals names is being announced, and it is because what is attached to them. Now, if you know you got a coworker and the coworker knows sassafras first, last, middle name, that is the individual that is saying that they are them to you when you are asleep. The reading didn't come out because the big G didn't want it to come out. You know what the big G will do? He'll shut everything down. This is how he worked with me. That means no internet connection even when my phone bill is paid. If I drive on down the street, up the street, around the corner to where they got free Wi-Fi, it ain't gonna be free for me because I won't be able to access it. That's what he do because I am somebody that is multiverse. That means people are tapping in everywhere. And no one is going to be with me at a certain point. Because all of y'all feel like you gonna say that you are with me. You gonna say that you my baby daddy. Yeah, I told y'all. This is what they do because they feel like it's a future. Now, if you know you got an important position or you feel like you gonna have one, they already yelling your name. Because there was some type of invasion spiritually that happened to you a long time ago, even in the past life. You sitting up here, by God's grace and mercy, you didn't hear it until you got to a certain age. Then you get to that age, that contract is up. Now it's time for another one. You wondering, you waking up, well, why I'm hearing stuff, ringing and bells and all kind of whistles and stuff. And somebody say that's technitis. And I'm saying that's the textbook term for it, but that's spiritual. We all know that to wake up and you hear ringing and bells and whistles and stuff, somebody say they do that to make you go cray. No, they do that to keep the stuff that you called on once upon a time at bay. Bars. And some say, oh, I'm used to it now. I done been living in this for 3 years. It's been every bit of 6 months. And what it is she and he ain't close enough yet. So you start hearing those tones and the bells and the whistles, and you wondering if somebody sitting next to you can hear it because it's loud in your ear. Let me tell you, for a fraction of you, that's because of somebody you slept with and they put it on you. When they're putting it on you, they put it on you. Come on now, talk to me. When they put it on you, they put it on you. Now they done did the energy transference. Now you the one walking around with bells and whistles and tones going on, and you ain't did nothing. Now when I said in that reading that somebody was finished paying off someone's karmic debt, now they are accumulating dharma, they went ahead and said, whoever has dharma, it's mine. This is what they say spiritually. And then something was ignited because you got to understand that the big G has a plan for all of it. These ones don't even know they under a new contract. This one, I didn't introduce the concept of linear to them, and now they feel like they move on a line. So that means they are safe. This one, he didn't descended so far down that before he was just wheezing because he was in a spot where he wasn't supposed to be. Now he coughing and hacking, and every 5 minutes he had somebody's hospital. You done went through, this dude done went through, and everything that he put on individuals throughout his lifespan has been placed back on him, because I told y'all it's a whole bunch of individuals that go around knowing that they transferring stuff onto other people, and they're proud about it. So when I said abstinence, that means, to all of y'all that don't know those words, keep your legs closed. You say either trying to be perfect. No, either is trying to keep you from hearing all them tones, bells, and whistles, and the elect ones. Because these ones, when they come, they are something vicious. Because they know what you was sleeping with, even if you don't know. Everybody has a spiritual makeup. Everybody has an aura. Everybody has a look spiritually. Especially those of you that are old. Your being is so old, you look a certain kind of way spiritually, especially to the elect ones. They don't care what you look like physically. To them, it don't matter. So when you say that you are the spouse of Job, and he come and say it's a Kenya, what did they must not remember? That's what the grace is saying. This one don't remember who I am to him, because now you done went from fearing them to saying that you are their spouse. So somebody had a comfort ski on them. Amen. It wasn't Job. He's trying to remember what JT, the bigger figure, the great one, said in his life, so he can counteract it and say they're not on one accord. How you know? He teaching you something that you ain't know. And I'm teaching you something you don't know. So why we not on one accord? The problem is y'all want to know everybody's business. So I'm going to enjoy telling all y'all's right now.